when there are no walls.
Hmm. One love. Pardon me. Wow. I like that opening song a lot. That was uh, that was kind of fun. So the quote for today is from Ernest Holmes, and it's human interactions inevitably invite diverse opinions and opening song a lot. That was uh, that was kind of fun. Oh, it's gone. Something weird just happened there. Anyway, human interactions inevitably invite diverse opinions and ideas, presenting an opportunity for empowerment. We must contemplate how we can both empower others and be empowered ourselves in this dynamic process. And of course, that's Ernest Holmes. And the talk today is Power of Oneness. And what we know for certain, of course, is many hands make for light work. And there's so much we can do together, and it's more fun as well. So it's up to us to empower one another. But this power that I'm talking about is that the essence of the divine that is within us. Each and every one of us is connected. Each and every one of us is absolutely uh, got this indwelling power. It is infinite, eternal, all powerful, all knowing. It is equally present for every one of us. There's no one that has more or less. It's all there. And so, what we want to do is to turn ourselves inward to begin to acknowledge the presence of God, the presence of the divine, this infinite power or love, and allow ourselves to express it. And as we do that, as we open our minds and hearts, we begin to connect with each other in a way that might be different. And as we connect, the power grows, the power expands. You know, we've heard the saying where two or more are gathered, which comes out of the Bible. That's that idea that multiplies the energy, but it doesn't just duplicate it, it expands it exponentially beyond anything we could imagine. So when we start with one person and that person then allows themselves to be open to another person and so on, we begin to create something really remarkable. So as we're journeying along and as we're walking this path, the best thing we can do for each other is to stand in our authenticity, find our true voice. I always like to say, speak the truth and do it quickly. Well, I think we need to do that to ourselves because I think we lie to ourselves a little bit, which might give us a sense of being powerless when in fact we are truly powerful. And we're not broken or flawed. Some people find this new thought teaching because there's something going on, there's something wrong in their lives. And so they come to be fixed. But what happens is we return. We're not fixed because we're not broken. What happens is we return, we remember who we truly are. And it is in that remembering that we can acknowledge that power within us and stop trying to manipulate, coerce, or direct power outward. The power that we have is our own innate power, and we want to use that. And as we come to that place of recognizing that we are one, everything I do, everything I think, everything I say actually impacts the whole because there's only one thing going on in this universe. I live, move, and have my being in it, just like you. And each and every one of us is created unique and special. And because of that, we have the ability to work together collaboratively because we all bring different attributes, different skills, different ways of being that actually will allow us to show up in a really remarkable way when we combine all those attributes. It's like looking at a beautiful tapestry in a museum. There's many colors, but all of it creates this beautiful image. That's what gives it value and beauty and even strength. So when we look at our own lives, when we begin to collaborate with each other, when we begin to welcome other people into our projects, our ideas, whatever, as we begin to work together, we expand. what we are capable of doing. And just like the tapestry, beauty is created. In the tapestry, if one thread were missing, it would become obvious. The eye would just go there. So we need all of us in order to create a world that we really, truly want to live in. A world where peace and harmony are the norm rather than the exception. And that's one of the things that I'm really excited about, that we come together in a way that allows us to really, truly embrace each other. So as we're embracing our own power, we begin to recognize that the people around us also have that power in them. And so we begin to work together. And as we unite around a purpose, a sense of community flourishes, offering support and connection. The shared commitment softens the boundaries that appear to separate us. And we begin to get a deeper understanding of ourselves and others on this journey, so we can begin to walk together. And through that collective power, we discover beauty and the beauty of collaboration. We celebrate the richness of unique perspectives, and we work harmoniously to co-create a reality that's filled with compassion, growth, and positive transformation. Doesn't that sound yummy? To live in a world where we celebrate each other, to work together to create things that add beauty and harmony to our world and to our individual lives. See, whatever I do for you, I've done for me as well. So all of these acts of kindness, or collaborating with somebody on a project, working together in oneness, we become very, very powerful. And we no longer need to worry about, what somebody else is saying or doing, because we know our own truth. In the science of mind, we recognize the power of collective consciousness. It underscores the potency of multiplicity in oneness and the transformative impact of coming together with intention and awareness. In science of mind, we acknowledge the inherent power of aligning our minds in purpose, transcending limitations, and demonstrating more excellent good. We begin to see everything flowing in a new way that's quick and beautiful, rather than feeling like a struggle. Things begin to move with greater ease. And the power within us really thrives with purpose, a direction. So when we're looking at our lives, we want to see, what is the direction? What is the direction that I want to go? What is sort of fueling me? What are the desires that I have? And what is it that I want to do? And then to look at how I collaborate in my own life with my own self, telling the truth to myself, but then taking that purpose and allowing others to come in and fill the gaps that I cannot fill with my unique abilities, but somebody else can. So we come up with this shared purpose, and we begin to create something really remarkable. And as we align with shared intention, our uniqueness and diverse abilities merge harmoniously, and we are able to accomplish that purpose. And each contribution, no matter how small, becomes a vital piece of the collective puzzle. Just like I said with the tapestry, if one thread is missing, there's something incomplete. We'll probably notice, our eye will go to that thing that we see as a flaw, but really it's one thread. And so every person in our lives is vital to creating this world that we would like to create. So we want to look at collective efforts, how we see the differences in each one of us, and how those differences create something beautiful. It fulfills that picture. So there isn't a thread missing. Everything needed, everything necessary is right there. So in these purposeful gatherings, we experience the richness of community, the beauty. We experience a connection that might be way beyond anything that we've experienced in the past. And that's very heartwarming and fulfilling. There's something about connecting with others that feels really awesome. And when we can empower others to really share their light, their gift, their one unique attribute or many unique attributes, as we begin to accept and allow others to contribute, we begin to see the beauty of what happens from that. And in empowering others, we embrace a role that fosters growth and self-discovery and self-reliance. By recognizing and encouraging unique strengths and abilities of each person, we create an environment where everyone feels valued and supported. Through the empowering dynamic, we enable one another to step into their fullest potential and contribute meaningfully to the collective whole by stepping into their personal power. Yes, living from our authentic self, loving who we are, allows us then to live in the world with a whole new way of being. We live in the world with a sense of oneness with everyone. When we meet someone on the street, we're looking with love at this individual. It's like in Sanskrit, there's the namaste, and that's in the Buddhist faith and maybe some others as well. But namaste is the God in me acknowledges the God in you, or the spirit in me acknowledges the spirit in you. The oneness in me, the love in me acknowledges the love in you. So we see each other in a brand new way. We acknowledge each other in a deep and meaningful way, which creates greater love and joy all the way around. And so we begin to celebrate one another, we begin to honor one another, and there's a great power in that. And when we acknowledge that the power that I possess has the ability to affect the people around me, there's something really remarkable about that. And we start to expand what it is we can think, say, and do. So when I think back to my parenting years and years ago, with my first three children, it's like I had a way of parenting that, I was kind of taught, you ground them, you yell at them, you tell them what to do and how to do it. And then when they do it, redo it because they didn't do it quite the way you wanted them to do it. So there was a real a separation. There was a me and them kind of thing. Frankly, it didn't work very well. And with my youngest son, it didn't work at all. And so I had to discover a new way of being. And that new way of being was to find a way to collaborate, to work together, to create something that would create a harmonious home. And so my eldest daughter had already left home, but the two boys were teenagers, 13, 14. And so what we did was I set up a family meeting, no bosses in the meeting. Everybody gets to speak whatever's on their mind. And whoever's got the talking stick has got the talking stick. Nobody else gets to speak. And so we had these meetings and we started to learn more about each other, and the meetings evolved over time and kept getting better. The other thing that happened is I decided there would be no more yelling and there would be no groundings. Yes, teenagers with no groundings. You want to know, when they first heard that, they were excited. They liked it a lot. We also sat back and looked at household responsibilities. We split them up. You'll do this, I'll do that. And we did this every month. So after the first month, nobody got grounded, nobody got yelled at. The other thing we set up in there is that they would get their weekly allowance on the Monday. So on Monday, they would get their money, but it had to last right through the weekend. And if they didn't have any money come Saturday and wanted to go to the movies, of course, they'd come to mom and say, oh, I need $5. Can I get an advance on my allowance? And the answer was no, because I'm not a bank. So again, that was teaching something about the responsibility of how we deal with our money. Now, my youngest son always ran out. My eldest son always saved his money. So the youngest son would borrow from the eldest and then repay him on the Monday. But my eldest charged interest. And the interest was, oh, you have dishes this week? Well, I have dishes this week, so you're going to do them for me. That's the interest for me loaning you this money. So it worked well for the eldest son, but the younger one but he went along with it. Along came a day when he lied to me about something. And so this was now an opportunity to really reflect on what is a natural consequence, because if we're working together, there is no, I'm mad at you, I get to yell at you, I'm going to ground you because you did something wrong. There had to be something more to it. And it took me a while to figure out what that was. And I walked away and I sat in my room. I told my son, I'll be back in 1 hour and we'll talk about how this is going to be dealt with. And so I went away and I was really upset, quite angry at the time, calmed myself down and thought, what's a reasonable consequence to this? What's natural? And what I realized was he had broken a trust by lying. So I could no longer trust him. So that was the consequence. So I went back to him and said, well, given this, I no longer trust you. And because I don't trust you, there's going to come a point in time when you would really like to do something that requires me trusting you. And I want you to know I don't. And we left it at that. And he was pretty happy because he thought, oh, no punishment. Yay. Because there was no punishment. But 2 weeks later, he wanted to go to a rave. Yeah, not going to happen. I was doing dishes at the time and I just looked over my shoulder as he was asking me about it. And I said, that would require trust. Went back to doing dishes. I didn't say anything else. He threw a chair. He cursed me out, slammed the door to his bedroom when he entered it. I just continued doing dishes, didn't say anything. 10 minutes later, he came back out in tears and said, what will it take for you to trust me again? And I said, just tell me the truth. Always tell me the truth. What's interesting about that experience is that that one moment was a pivotal moment in my son's life that transformed everything that occurred for him moving forward after that. And as he rebuilt trust, which he did, it was an opportunity for me to reward that trust, to really acknowledge that he had done that. And so when we're working together, we want to be really flexible with rules and regulations. We want to acknowledge the humanity of each person. And when we do that, there's an immense power that comes out of that. My son learned something really valuable. In fact, both of them did. And they learned that what I put out in the world comes back to me multiplied. And because we live in this one thing, everything I do, think, say, like I said earlier, all of it is impacting the whole. So when we take a look at working collaboratively in community or in a family, when we start to work together, really loving and honoring each other, respecting each other, what happens is there is an expansion of that power that is greater than anything we may have ever known. And as a result of that, we could move mountains. So much can be accomplished when we recognize how powerful we really, really are. And when we wield our power with love, we create a space for open discussion, embracing diverse perspectives without judgment. That's what our family meetings were kind of like. We welcome the richness of varied viewpoints, recognizing that healthy interactions are essential for collective growth and understanding. And in this state of love, this loving power, there's room for consensus building and finding common ground. And so in my family, I was able to do something very different, something very unusual for me. And it took a while for me to really get comfortable with this new way of parenting. But it was a way of using that inner power for good and allowing my children to experience consequences to actions, not punishment, but natural consequences. If I step off the roof of my house because of gravity, I'm probably going to break my ankle or a leg or whatever. I'm not being punished. This is a natural consequence to breaking a universal law, frankly, or a a physical law, part of the universe. So we're working with this power in a way that allows us to really expand our reach, expand our abilities to really love, and it allows us to unite in a way that might be new for many of us or for some of us. I look at the political environment in the United States and the absolute separation between people, the anger that's happening because, my way is the right way. And this energy of anger and separation and divisiveness, but it's not creating anything good. And it's not everybody in the US doing this, but there's a great sense of, this side and that side, right and left. And boy, don't cross those barriers. What we want to do is cross the barriers. Talk to somebody we don't know. Come to understand a new culture, a new religion, a new way of being. Talk to people who you think are different than you and notice that we're all the same. We all have blood coursing through our veins and a mind that thinks and a heart that beats. We all need food and water. We all need love. And every single one of us, whether we know it or not, is powerful, remarkable, unique, special. And if we can bring all of that together, this is where peace comes from. It doesn't come from me going, oh, that person made a mistake. Let me tell them the truth so they can be peaceful. No, I need peace. I find the peace in my heart and I live in that peace and I begin to model an energy or a vibration, and that vibration begins to attract more of the same. So we work together and we begin to draw together diverse ideas and people. And there's a TED Talk online where a jazz musician is talking about going to KKK rallies. And he was, he was a young guy going, I don't understand this racism. He's a Black man and he's, figuring out who he is and, what life has to offer. And his name is Daryl Davis. I think I used it in another class and had that wrong, but Daryl Davis, who is a Black man who attends KKK rallies. Well, it seems odd, doesn't it? But here's the thing. He sat down one day and said to his secretary, he said, would you please book a meeting with the head of the KKK in our area and invite him to come have a conversation with me, but don't tell him I'm Black. And so they sat and had a conversation. Of course, when the guy walked into the room, I think he was a little surprised to see Daryl, but they sat down and they conversed respectfully, and they shared their differing opinions. And that one conversation led to a second conversation and a third and a fourth and a fifth. And it also led Daryl to the head of the KKK in the US. And they sat down and had a conversation and more conversations and would have dinner he would come and have dinner at Daryl's house. And there came a time when these men actually left the KKK because they had discovered the humanity that both Daryl and themselves were experiencing. I invite you to go to the TED Talks, just type in Daryl Davis, or if you forget that, Black man attends KKK rallies, because he does attend them. And it's interesting to see how through conversation, through respect, they were able to find common ground. Now, it took a little while, but they found common ground. The journey that we're on is about coming together. We're powerful together. I mean, we're powerful in ourselves, but when we unite that power with somebody else, when we begin to share that energy, we begin to expand the collective. And as I think loving thoughts into that collective, I lift all of it, not just some, but all. And the more of us that are in that energy of love and respect and kindness and appreciation of each other, you begin to really build that power to something remarkable. And big changes occur when we reach a critical mass. I think we're getting close. So let's keep moving forward in that idea of uniting with intention, with consciousness, bringing our best selves to the table and sharing that boundless energy of spirit. Let's embrace each other's perspectives, whether we agree or disagree, acknowledging, wow, that's a fascinating way of thinking. Thank you for sharing. There's beauty in community and connection. So let's do more of that. So as I come to the end of this talk, what I want to do is take us into a meditation. And in this meditation, I want you to just relax, close your eyes, get comfortable, and just take a deep breath in. And as you exhale that breath, allow your body to relax. One more deep breath. And just relaxing a little bit further. And one more deep breath. Ah, yes. So in this place of relaxation, in this place of oneness, I invite you to drop your awareness right to your heart center. And I want you to imagine a beautiful light. Beautiful, beautiful light. And I want you to take that light energy and begin to move it. Move it so that it moves up into your throat, into your head, down into your legs, out into your arms, lighting up every single cell. And as the body is filled with this light, it illuminates an energy and a vibration that is love, an energy that is powerful and positive. Feel that. And now continuing right where you are, just allow that energy to begin to grow so that it fills the room that you're in. Feel the expansion. Love multiplied. And now let's expand it a little further. Expanding that energy out of your home, into your community, into your city. Seeing that energy, that vibration of love, touching hearts and minds. And let's continue that expansion. Imagine it filling this country coast to coast. The energy of love, powerful light, illuminating everything. And now let's take it a step further. Let's take this beautiful energy, this beautiful light, and expand it so that it wraps around this beautiful planet. That the entire planet is completely immersed in this light. shining brightly in the solar system. This energy of love permeating every single thing, expanding it out so it fills the entire universe, expanding this light, expanding love. The power of love has no opposition. The power of love is eternal good. So sitting in that love vibration for a moment, really welcome it, accept it. Allow it. And as we begin to bring our attention back to this now moment, we do so in a way that allows that expanded energy to remain. We allow that expanded energy to stay. And as we move into our heart center, into our individualized expression of the one, we can still feel the expansion, even in our own authentic, sacred, beautiful self. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, begin to move your fingers and toes. Take another breath. Allow yourself to open your eyes, open your mind. Come back to this moment. This is a new day, a new opportunity, a chance to be you, to love it, and then to meet these beautiful, beautiful beings around you and to love them too. Remember, all is well. All is well. All is well. Namaste.